We're live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India News, India's voice to the world. I'm Lepakshi Khurana, coming up in the next hour. India withdraws its diplomats from Canada, rejects Canada's preposterous allegations against its diplomats. Ties plunge further as Canada levels baseless allegations against Indian officials. Focus on technologies for the future as Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate World Telecommunication Standardization Assembly 2024 and launch 8th India Mobile Congress. Islamabad under heavy security blanket as leaders start arriving for two-day SCO summit. India's External Affairs Minister to lead Indian side for the event. China sanctions two Taiwanese for separatist acts after holding military drills around Taipei. US calls Chinese war games destabilizing. UK says it risks a dangerous escalation in Taiwan Strait. North Korea blows up inter-Korean road on its side of border amid drone row. South Korea military fires warning shots. Now on to the details. India-Canada ties have been strained for over a year and now they've plunged even lower over the same issue. India has expelled 6 Canadian diplomats, including Acting High Commissioner and Deputy High Commissioner. It has asked them to leave India before 19th of October. Indian government has also announced the withdrawal of its High Commissioner and other diplomats from Canada, citing concerns over their safety due to Justin Trudeau-led Canadian government's actions amid rising extremism. Let us take a look at this report.
India and Canada have been at daggers drawn ever since Prime Minister Justin Trudeau made a statement in the Canadian Parliament in September last year, charging India of having a hand in the alleged killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar. India had dismissed those charges with contempt and demanded proof from Canada. Now, not only has Canada repeated its unfounded allegations, but it has also sent a diplomatic communication to India suggesting that the Indian High Commissioner in Ottawa and other diplomats are persons of interest in a matter related to an investigation. In a sharply worded statement, India's External Affairs Ministry has said the Government of India strongly rejects these preposterous imputations and ascribes them to the political agenda of the Trudeau government, that it is centred around vote bank politics. The Indian Foreign Ministry further said that this communication has come despite the Canadian government not sharing a shred of evidence with the Indian government, even after repeated requests. It was also said that the latest step follows interactions where assertions were made sans facts. The move leaves no doubt that there is a deliberate strategy to smear India for political gains. Prime Minister Trudeau's hostility to India has long been in evidence. Trudeau's 2018 India visit was aimed at currying favour with the vote bank. Trudeau's 2018 India visit rebounded on him to his discomfiture. Trudeau's cabinet has included individuals who have openly associated with an extremist and separatist agenda regarding India. Trudeau's naked interference in India's internal politics in December 2020 showed how far he was willing to go. His government was dependent on a political party whose leader openly espouses a separatist ideology vis-à-vis India. Trudeau's government has been under criticism for turning a blind eye to foreign interference in Canadian politics. Trudeau's government has deliberately brought in India in a bid to mitigate the damage. The latest development of targeting Indian diplomats is the next step in damage control. It's no coincidence that the move has been made when Trudeau is to depose before a commission on foreign interference. The move also serves the anti-India separatist agenda which the Trudeau government has constantly pandered to for narrow political gains. The Trudeau government has consciously provided space to violent extremists and terrorists. Space has been given to harass, threaten and intimidate Indian diplomats and community leaders in Canada. Death threats have been issued to Indian diplomats and others. All such activities have been justified in the name of freedom of speech. Some anti-India individuals who entered Canada illegally have been fast-tracked for citizenship. Multiple extradition requests from the Government of India for terrorists and organised crime leaders living in Canada have been ignored. The MEA also said that India's Canadian High Commissioner Sanjay Kumar is the senior-most serving diplomat and the aspersions cast on him ludicrous and deserve to be treated with contempt. India also went to the extent of saying that it has taken cognizance of the activities of the Canadian High Commission in India that serves the political agenda of the Trudeau regime. Canada had to withdraw 41 diplomats from Delhi last October when India demanded parity over diplomatic representation. Canada has the second largest Sikh community in the world after India, making around 2% of that country's population. Sikh separatism, stamped out in India, has found shelter there and holds political sway in some pockets. National elections are due in Canada in October 2025, and an increasingly unpopular Trudeau government is doing all it can to play vote bank politics with an issue critical to India's national security. With Gautam Roy, Tanvi Taneja for DD India.
Well, we have Meghna Dev joining us for more on this. Well, Meghna, the present diplomatic fallout, High Commissioner being called, means that the situation is very, very grave and the relationship has downgraded to the lowest step. It's an unprecedented escalation.
Absolutely, Lipakshi. And when we actually see, if I would not be very strong to quote or strong to say that the government-to-government ties at the moment are almost dead, because when we actually call back our High Commissioner, our diplomats is stating that there is that India does not have any trust in the security, in the Canadian government security, and there is threat to our High Commissioner and Indian diplomats. That says volumes of how worse the relationship has become. Because obviously we know that yesterday there was a statement released by the Ministry of External Affairs wherein it was stated that these people, the High Commissioner and the Indian diplomats, are persons of interest in a murder investigation. That did not obviously go down well with India, because India has been time and again asking for evidence in the matter, which the Canadian government has time and again failed to provide, and also kind of asserted time and again, but has not even provided a shred of information or evidence for that matter. Very importantly, this clearly looks like a concocted story. Besides that, it definitely has strained India-Canada ties to a new low. I don't think anything can go lower than this at the moment, because India has taken strong steps by also expelling 6 Canadian diplomats and asking them, giving them an ultimatum to leave by 19th of October. So that is a very strong step that India has taken. And it will not be a surprise to anybody if India takes even stronger actions in the near future.
Right, Megha. Also, Canada's hostility, of course, can be seen since long. And can we say Justin Trudeau's offensive be seen as a pre-poll ploy amid the waning support back home? India's also issued a warning to Canada, and Canada could reply to India again. The whole face-off could blow up further.
Yes, it will be, and it will definitely blow up further, because what we actually see is that Canada is still leaving no stone unturned to malign India's image, as the statement reads, smearing India for political gains. And these are narrow political gains that the Trudeau government or Prime Minister Trudeau has been trying, not only, just ahead of when, there is a political, he will be going through a political process, but he's also done it in 2018 during his India visit when he was in Gujarat and Mumbai. He has done it in 2020, interfering into Indian elections. So time and again, he has proved his loyalty towards extremists, separatists and terrorists. So this has, definitely this had to come. This was an inevitable situation. Time and again, our diplomats getting threats, death threats and whatnot. So definitely this was inevitable, and we'll see more coming in the future.
All right, Megha, thank you so much for all those details. And moving on, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the World Telecommunications Standardization Assembly 2024 in New Delhi in a short while from now. Alongside, he will also inaugurate the India Mobile Congress 2024. The global event will bring together over 3,000 telecom and tech leaders, making India a key player in shaping the future of digital communications and technologies. Take a look.
India is all set to host one of the most significant global events in telecommunication, the World Telecommunication Standardization Assembly 2024. This prestigious event will take place in New Delhi from October 15th to 24th, bringing to...
And now let's take you to Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is attending the exhibition ahead of inauguration of the Indian Mobile Congress 2024. Prime Minister there up on your screens, attending the Indian Mobile Congress 2024, which will showcase India's innovation ecosystem. Prime Minister will inaugurate the 8th edition of the International Telecommunication Union also. This is the first time World Telecommunications Standardization Academy is going to be held in Delhi and the Asia Pacific. Prime Minister will also inaugurate the 8th edition of the Indian Mobile Congress with the theme, "The Future is Now." And for more on this, we have Tapas joining us on phone. Well, Tapas, what are the primary objectives of the WTSA?
Hello, check, audio check.
Yes, Tapas, we can hear you.
Audio check, audio check.
Tapas, we can hear you. Could you tell us what are the primary objectives of the world?
Hello.
Yes,
hello,
Tapas.
Hello. Audio check, audio check, audio check. Audio check, audio check, audio check.
Tapas, can you hear us? All right, Prime Minister will be inaugurating the 8th edition of the Indian Mobile Congress with the theme, "The Future is Now." This is the first time that the World Telecommunication Standardization Academy will be hosted in India and the Asia Pacific. Prime Minister there visiting the exhibition before the inauguration. In fact, the event will be facilitating interactions with various industry leaders, policymakers and tech experts from over 190 countries. These forums are important ones, bringing together leading stakeholders from across various sectors. This event is a pivotal global event that will bring together more than 3,000 industry leaders, policymakers and tech experts from over 190 countries. Indian Mobile Congress 2024 will showcase India's innovation ecosystem, where leading telecom companies and innovators will highlight advancement in quantum technology and circular economy. And we have again Tapas joining us. Well, Tapas, could you just tell us what are the main themes and objectives of the Indian Mobile Congress 2024?
Good morning, Lipakshi. And let me just tell you that it's a historic day for India for the simple reason, not just this is the 8th edition of the India Mobile Congress, which Prime Minister Narendra Modi has just kindly inaugurated the exhibition where we can see the pictures coming in. But at the same time, for the first time ever in Asia Pacific region, the World Telecommunication Standardization Assembly is taking place in the country. Therefore, this happens after every 4 years, and this time it's happening for the first time in the Asia Pacific region, and that too in India. So it's a historic moment, not just for Asia, but that's for India at the same time. And as I can tell you, right now you can see on your screen, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in the exhibition center of the India Mobile Congress, where he is currently exchanging his views on the technology that is currently changing. Right now on your screen, you have Meenal Gupta, who is the CEO and the founder of Ease of Life Solution. This particular company actually works on how providing giving AI solution. If you have a in health sector, for instance, if you have done let's say a CT scan, and in the remote area where that specialized doctors are not available, in this particular startup, which is currently working in already started working in the 7 sisters and in this northeast states, as well as some parts of Madhya Pradesh. They are providing those solution to the people, and AI will help them in providing a faster understanding of what exactly can be done to mitigate if there is any emergency. So that is one. And I can also tell you that right now in your if you can see Signal Chip founder is also there. Now Signal Chip is Himanshu Khasanesi is currently talking to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He's explaining this particular chip that India has. In fact, this particular chip that his company Signaltron and Signal Chip is making is becoming the 4th company in the world who has the specialization in providing base chip to the country and to the world. In fact, apart from him, on some of the other companies that are there are Intel and big shot companies, Qualcomm and all. So this is the first time ever a company of Made in India, Make in India is providing the semiconductor chip. Earlier, these chips used to be imported from Qualcomm or from other private companies, but right now, as I mentioned, Mr. Himanshu, who is the founder of the Signaltron and the Signal Chip, he's showcasing how this is changing the gamut of the cutting edge technology that currently India is now is going ahead with. In fact, these technologies are the backbone of any industry, and as I mentioned, this particular chip that is being made can also help in providing the NAVIC GPS solution. Remember, if you remember the Kargil war, there was a time when India was not given the GPS coordinates, and after that there was a point that India started having NAVIC NAVIC GPS kind of installation. So that this kind of this chip is designed in such a manner. It's a very, very small chip. This chip actually can showcase and can actually replace the GPS that we currently have. And at the same time, we spoke to the founder of this particular Signaltron and Signal Chip. There are very few companies in the world who can design. This is the property of this company. They can design and and manufacture. So for the first time ever, this company has managed to do that, and they have also provided a solution to the defense personnel. So remember, they have made a machine, Signaltron, the company, they have made a machine which actually can provide connectivity at remote areas, especially at the border areas where signal jams, the signal connectivity is a major issue. So this company is providing cutting edge technology, cutting edge signal and telecommunication provide information inputs to the Indian defense personnel. They have already got orders from India's defense. It's a huge push for making in India, and that too coming from India's startup. I remember there was a time in 2014 there was hardly any startup, and now in the last 10 years, the startup boom has actually taken the country, the world by storm, and actually that has shifted the focus of the whole world to India, where India's innovation, India's startup actually are showcasing, providing a solution to the world.
Right, Tapas, you told us about the new chip. Can you also tell us that the Indian Mobile Congress is expected to feature updates on the 6G developments in India? What is up on that front?
That is true. In fact, that's something that the country is now working. Remember, when 5G came, we though started the 5G race a little late because the technology was limited. But once we got the technology, the fastest rollout of 5G in the country happened. And in no time, in fact, we managed to get the 5G technology up and running, and that rollout happened for the fastest period of time in the world. And now India is preparing itself for the 6G rollout. And the idea is that the companies which currently has 6G technology are they're not from India, but India is now currently providing these startups, and other companies the technological advancement, finances, and other such measures that can help India leapfrog this particular 6G revolution. And that is something that India has been talking about. If India has to grow, the Bharat has to grow. And by Bharat, I mean the rural India has to grow. And it is imperative. These startups are actually working in those technologies which can provide end-to-end solution at the grassroots level, at the panchayat level, at the village level. And that is the essence of India Mobile Congress 2024, giving solution to the people, giving solution to the last mile where connectivity is still a problem in many places.
All right, Tapas, this is the 8th edition of the Indian Mobile Congress. Could you just highlight this year's event? How is it different from the previous editions?
Well, there are a lot of startups which are coming in. There is a lot of emphasis on providing innovative solution, especially at places where connectivity, or for that matter, internet connectivity, bandwidth is still a problem. For instance, in Northeast, we have seen that's a major issue that is currently. In fact, as I mentioned, on your screen, you can see there's a scientist currently is talking to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He's Professor Kiran Kuchi. He's a faculty member at IIT Hyderabad. In fact, he stayed in US more than a decade and came back in 2008, in fact, and started his company. He wanted to do something for the country. This is his dream to give to the country, and his company, Visig in Networks founder, they're actually working on how to make 5G and 6G available to the people who still don't have that, and making it a point that the infrastructure is quite limited. As I mentioned, if you have a village, if you have a panchayati raj where the number of people are less, let's say 100 families or 150 families, to put spectrum, or for that matter 5G bandwidth, is an expensive task. So these companies come together. Is this professor has developed a solution where affordable 5G and 6G connection can be provided at a much cheaper rate and at a much faster speed. So those are the innovation that they are talking. And as I mentioned, left his well-cushioned job in US, came here to do something for Mother India. That's a huge, huge push. And how many people generally do that? But this is a new India. There was a time when the brain drain was a major point of contention. Now we have a brain gain. There's people who have gone back, have come back now, and are actually working in the development of Bharat.
All right, you're telling us about the new innovations and the startups, Tapas. Could you also tell us how are the regulatory challenges in the mobile sector going to be addressed?
It is. There is a lot of regulatory challenges. There is a lot of issues that still that plague. But as I mentioned, in the last 5-6 years, we have especially seen that the things have eased out. The ease of business is very much there. There is a push towards providing greater connectivity to different parts of the country. We saw last year also that the connectivity was provided to Andaman and Nicobar Island, which didn't have that kind of a speed. But now we have that. So huge push has been given to that. A single system has been provided where if you need, if a company need some sort of a requirement or for that matter help, they have the C.dot and they have the Government of India's Department of Technology who can chip in, providing not just the finances but also the technical know-how, help them, handhold them, and take them forward. So those are the things that have changed in the last few years, Dipakshi.
Right. Also, Tapas, most importantly, what discussions are anticipated regarding the data privacy, or if we talk about cyber security in mobile communication?
That's an issue. That's definitely an issue. Artificial intelligence, data security is a major issue, and that's end-to-end encryption is a point that a lot of people are talking about. And it is imperative that you have a Make in India chip and Make in India semiconductor chip that is there, because the government of India, and for that matter, the government around the globe, are actually grappling with the fact that if you have a chip from a different the data privacy can be breached, and also an end-to-end encryption is something that a lot of people are talking about. So all these things are currently being discussed in their mobile congress, and at the same time, as I mentioned, we are currently having the World Telecommunication Standardization Assembly. This particular assembly, which is under the flagship, is a flagship conference organized by the International Telecommunication Union under the United Nations Agency for Digital Technologies. So this, the countries around the globe, 190 countries, all the stakeholders coming together, making sure that they come together and provide those emphasis and push to get the standardization that is very much required. As you can see this on your screen right now, you can see Prime Minister Narendra Modi is talking to another lady, and something I wanted to talk about here also, that this lady is another Neha Satak. She's a CEO of Astrotom Technologies, and this particular technology is something very interesting here. She has made a bit of a band that is there, a machine that is there, which can, if there is a problem in setting up, let's say, cable to provide high-speed network, this particular machine can actually work and actually help in providing high-speed data transmission from one tower to another, and the range is almost approximately 20 kilometers. So you can imagine places like mountain areas, for that matter, again, defense areas, border areas where there is a bit of a problem in providing the high-speed connectivity. These machines prove handful. And actually, this is also a classic case of Make in India and export to world. The company has actually got a backed order for providing this kind of machine to United States. Remember, the United States is still what you call the technological hub of the world, and here India is providing that information and the technology to that country and exporting them. 2 years back, this company has a turnover of almost zero. And now they have got a turnover of more than 8 crore. So you can imagine the kind of push that India is getting from the Make in India and Make for the World.
All right. Tapas, you're talking about the various innovations and Make in India and Make in the World. What international partnerships, or if we talk about collaborations, are expected to emerge, particularly from the IMC 2024?
Well, we expect that a lot of companies, for instance, are here. They have their base in US, Taiwan, other places around the globe, and these companies have a tendency to come here and get the best of the brain. Now, is that they now want to set up their subsidiary in the country, in India, along with the Indian partners, and that's something that we are seeing. We have the solution, we have innovation, we have the manpower. All these are there. What is required is a major push. And IMC 2024 World Standardization Global Symposium that's currently going on. These are the two things that are currently going on. This is expected to push India in the elite group, and it is expected to take India to a new high. And that is something that we have been talking about to the companies like Ericsson, companies like Nokia, companies from the West. All are coming here, Qualcomm, all coming here to find a new innovation that can actually take the world to the next stage. We talk about semiconductor. What next? There are different technologies that are coming which can make semiconductor outdated, and let's say in the next in a decade or two. So it is imperative that you invest in that. You invest in the R&D. R&D is a huge point out here, and it's something that we've been talking about. And India is, as I mentioned, wants to be a global hub of R&D. These companies wants to set the shop there here in India. They want to collaborate with Indian companies and come up with a solution, not just for the country, but for global and for the world.
Right, Tapas, as you said, the purpose is to push India to a new high. If we talk about the global mobile market, as you've also been mentioning, how can India leverage its position in the global mobile market through this Congress, especially?
You have a 1.4 billion people out here. This is the biggest market that anybody can have. So in one point, and in this, if you mention the fact that Indian companies, you have Nokia, you have Samsung, you have Apple, they're all setting up the plant here in the country, making it for the world. So it's a huge market. So if somebody is saying that India can't be at the helm of affairs, they are either living in a fool's paradise or they don't know the scenario at the ground level. Something for India Mobile Congress is a premier event. It is actually showcases what is there around the globe, push the limit, push the envelope forward, and that's something that we India has to understand and to take it forward. New arenas there, 6G, artificial intelligence, IoT, all these are here. It is imperative that we take this particular event forward and build on making sure that India is on the right track, becoming a global hub for world, not just to manufacture but also to innovate. Lipakshi.
Right, Tapas. Also, how are the long-term goals, if we talk about, going to be shaped for the Indian mobile industry?
Well, industry, as I mentioned, it has matured a lot. We do have public sector companies like MTNL and BSNL. We also have private sector companies, and we have seen around the globe. If you take a close look at around the globe, the data that we have at the price that we have that data is nowhere to be found. And we have been to West European countries, we have been to East European countries, we have been to US. It's very cheap here, and if that's going to actually, data is going to drive the world around, and that's something India Mobile Congress is quite fully aware of that. And technology is going to be there. How to adapt the new technology, how to go about it, that's something that a lot of people are now talking about. And IMC, India Mobile Congress, is actually expected to lay the platform to do exactly that.
Right, Tapas, if we talk about digital inclusion, India is at its helm right now. What further steps are expected to enhance this inclusion, digital inclusion in India?
Well, digital inclusion means to have a digital public infrastructure where now you have, Lipakshi, you go out, you don't carry cash on your wallet, do you? Now you go out, you have a mobile, you just scan and you pay the money. And I tell you something, the whole world is looking at it. They are at awe. There was a time, and I'm telling you, 10 years back when we were in Western European countries, or for that matter in other places, they used to take pride in plastic money. They used to say flaunt that credit card or debit card, or for that matter any card. And they used to say, no, we can, we use this. Now when we go there, they say, hey, you guys pay through your mobile. This is the power of digital public infrastructure, where you are bringing everything close on your mobile. Everything is on your mobile. And that is that inclusivity. It's just imagine small chap, for instance, an auto driver. He will take money on his mobile. He doesn't have to worry whether somebody is trying to mug him or not. That is the a major essence of having a digital public infrastructure. You're staying in one part of the country and you want to send money to your relative in some, let's say, in northeast or some remote areas. How to do that? It's just on the click of a mobile you can do that. How easy is that? Life has become massively easy, and the world is looking at it that, hey, there is innovation that is happening in India, which is actually taking the world world by surprise. They are absolutely amazed with the way India is right now doing business, and they want to now know more about it. And now you see France, you see you've been to UAE, you go to any other places where UAE. UPI for that matter, norm. The same with education also. There was a time the paucity of teachers are there. So you have a technology that will provide the solution to students staying, let's say, in a village or in a remote areas where what you call world-class education is still a distant dream. Not anymore. this public digital infrastructure has created that it has enabled the public as a tier 2, tier 3 cities to come forward and make the country proud. So this is the essence of, true essence of digital public infrastructure. This is the essence of, India moving forward. And India Mobile Congress is actually expected to take it further, ahead.
Right, Tapas. Also, could you just tell us what can we expect from the course of future technologies from India?
Well, as I mentioned, 6G and AI, that's going to be a major focus of, IMC. At the same time, the global standardization event that's
right, Tapas.
how to, yeah, go ahead, Dipakshi.
Yes, Tapas, continue.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, Dipakshi, 6G and the global the standardization that is currently happening. These are the things that will have a major. As I mentioned, this particular event starting today until 24th, this event will take place, and policymakers, industry leaders, tech experts from more than 190 countries are here, and they are understanding from each other how to go about it, how to develop intellectual property rights. That's another thing, that we need to talk about. Intellectual property rights is going to be discussed in threadbare here in Bharat Mandapam, and standard essential patents. These patents have also come in under scanner. So these are the things that a lot of people are talking about, and one believes that this particular event, this particular summit that is currently happening in Bharat Mandapam will talk and will discuss in detail about this. Then there is the next generation technologies. Then there is IoT, big data, as I mentioned earlier, cybersecurity. That again is a major point that people will be talking about. We expect that once the event gets going and it's about to end, we will find that some sort of thought process will come out, emerge from that, and 190 countries will come out with some sort of a paper to address these critical issues.
Right, Tapas, as you mentioned, 190 countries there. This global event will actually bring together more than 3,000 industry leaders, policymakers and tech experts, as you said, from 190 countries. What role do we see India playing in shaping the global telecom agenda?
Well, hosting this event in India will provide the country an opportunity to play a key role in shaping the global telecom agenda first and set the course for the future technologies. That's something that India has to have. If there is a new technology, India has to play a major role in that. Indian startups, research institutions they are set to gain critical insight into developing intellectual property rights and standard essential patents. Even this is the 5th Global Standard Symposium. It will have the ministers, the CEOs, innovators, thought leaders, decision makers from across the globe examining how the cutting edge technologies and international standards are driving our digital future. There's a high level segment that also took place yesterday where ministers, industry leaders discussed digital transformation, ambitions and associated standardization demands. So these are when it happened, everybody came together and to provide that input that is very much required.
Right, Tapas, if we talk about WTSA, what measures are being taken to ensure that developing nations are adequately being represented in the decision-making processes?
Very valid point, because India is leading the global south. As I mentioned earlier also that, if the global south has to, prosper and has to grow, the third world country has to grow, India has to play a major role in that. The Global Standards Symposium is designed as a pivotal gathering to address the urgent need for a cohesive approach for governance and standardization of these emerging technologies. And these are the emerging technologies that will be very much required. And most of these third world countries, most of the developing countries don't have these kind of technologies. India has to lead from the front. India has to provide them that particular push and innovation, and at the same time the technology. As the digital landscape evolves and at an unprecedented pace, this symposium is expected to bridge the gap between the rapid technological advancement and the existing international regulatory frameworks, and that is something that is quite important. the purpose of to extend is to is to have a unified vision among the global leaders to have a sustainable and inclusive growth across all sectors. You can have, for instance, developed countries have a different agenda. Developing countries have a different agenda. All have to come together. All have to understand that it is the inclusive growth that matters, and everybody has to grow together. There will be disparity, but how to reduce the disparity, that will be the major point here. And this particular symposium is set to also play a major area and major point in the intersection of technology policy, international standards, and also how influencing how technological advancement will be integrated in societal and economic structures, not just in the country but globally. That's something that Lipakshi, one has to see from a different perspective. And as mentioned yesterday, India's Minister of Communication, Jyotiradittya Scindia, said that we are poised at the edge of a new technological area, and it is imperative that we go ahead and get it done.
Right, Tapas. Before we talk further, let me just quickly tell our audience what all is lined up at the event today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the 8th edition of Indian Mobile Congress 2024 shortly, which is expected to enable countries and participants to discuss and decide the future of next generation technologies. The event, which is being held with the theme "The Future is Now," is likely to showcase 5G use cases from telecom companies, besides announcements related to cloud and edge computing, IoT, semiconductors, cybersecurity, green tech, SATCOM, and electronics manufacturing. Well, in India, 5G is anticipated to inject an astounding $450 billion into the economy by 2040. And now we take you live to Bharat Mandapam, where Prime Minister is about to inaugurate the function.
Of Northeastern Region, Shri Jyotiradittya Scindia, to please welcome all our delegates, participants and guests.
Honorable Prime Minister, and India's Path Pradarshak, Adarniya Shri Narendra Modi ji, Secretary General of the ITU, Ms. Doreen Bogdan-Martin, esteemed leaders, innovators, and policymakers. It is with a sense of great pride and joy that I warmly welcome all of you to this momentous occasion, where we declare open not one, but two landmark events for our telecom sector. The World Telecom Standardization Assembly, convened by the International Telecommunication Union, and the Indian Mobile Congress. It is our singular honor to have between us the Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, to grace us with his presence. Last year, in the month of September, owing to the Honorable Prime Minister's dynamic leadership, India took up the baton of the G20 summit for the first time in her history of 75 years. And in the same vein of firsts, we are now honored to host the illustrious WTSA Assembly, which, mind you, is also the first time it's being hosted in all of Asia in Bharat Mata, where we will celebrate the power of technology, particularly telecommunications, and the underlying global frameworks and standards. We have amongst us 3,200 delegates from over 160 countries, the highest ever for any WTSA assembly in its history. We are confident that this will, along with the Indian Mobile Congress in its 8th edition, which is South Asia's largest digital technology gathering, this will serve as a breeding ground for innovation, but also showcase India's impending but inevitable emergence as a global hub for telecommunications across the world. पहले ज़माने में मोबाइल और टेलीकॉम को केवल दूरभाष का साधन समझा जाता था और प्रधानमंत्री जी के दूरदृष्टि नेतृत्व के आधार पर आज ये एक एक व्यक्ति को विश्व के साथ और भारत में एक एक व्यक्ति को दूसरों के दिलों के साथ जोड़ने का साधन बन चुका है। भारत में टेलीकॉम का महत्व केवल टीवी, इंटरनेट और फोन के साथ जोड़ने का नहीं, लेकिन भारत में अगर एक परिवार को मोबाइल मिल जाए, इंटरनेट की सेवा मिल जाए, तो वो बैंकिंग से जुड़ गया है, वेलफेयर स्कीम्स के साथ जुड़ गया है, आवश्यक सूचना के साथ जुड़ गया है और सबसे महत्वपूर्ण संपूर्ण विश्व के साथ जुड़ चुका है। Some of the most remarkable examples of the power of telecom, paving the way for universal empowerment, is the DBT, the Direct Benefit Transfer Scheme, which in a day transfers more than 10 million direct cash transfers on a daily basis into the bank accounts of people. अभी हाल ही में कुछ दिन पूर्व हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी ने 93 मिलियन किसानों के खातों में प्रधानमंत्री किसान सम्मान निधि के आधार पर 20,000 करोड़ रुपए, मतलब $2.5 बिलियन सीधे उनके खाते में पहुंचाने का कार्य किया है, जो शायद विश्व के किसी देश में नहीं होता, प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व के आधार पर भारत में संभव हो पाया है। It's a fundamental change in the approach towards technology development. And India has ushered in this fundamental change due to the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, who has always put people at the heart of progress. His motto, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, और सबका प्रयास, combined with his second motto, one earth, one family, and one future. It is the combination of these two mottos that leads India under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership into one of the leading sectors and leading countries on the Committee of Nations. It is this motto of connected the unconnected that informed policy making is part of India's fabric today. When it comes to the area of telecom, we are steadfastly bridging the gap between the digital haves and the have-nots through the BharatNet program, which is the world's largest rural broadband connectivity program at over $10 billion in the last 3 years alone, laying 700,000 kilometers of fiber. Our success has staggering numbers associated with it. Mobile connections in India have risen from 904 million to over 1.16 billion today. Broadband connectivity in India 10 years ago was restricted to only 60 million users. Today, it's a staggering 924 million users. OFC fiber in India was only 11 million route kilometers. Today it is 41 million route kilometers. And these staggering numbers of growth are accompanied by a digital payment system, 4G stack, the UPI interface, जिन आविष्कारों के आधार पर भारत की और विश्व की डिजिटल इकोनॉमी के पिलर्स बनने जा रहे हैं. The credit for this goes single-minded pursuit of our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji for building world-class infrastructure. It is our resolve today in India that we shall bring policies up to speed with the changing times and the challenges that confront us. The recent changes to the Telecommunications Act 2023 is a case in point. It has been designed such a way so as to modernize India's telecom framework, drawing light upon hitherto unaddressed areas, such as the high potential sector of satellite communications, addressing the challenges of the digital era, the most important being cyber security. The telecom sector, much like other growth critical sectors in India, is aggressive, is ambitious, and its outlook in our journey from our Amrit Kal to our Shatabdi Kal is to lead the world. Today, by mid of next year, we will have rolled out 4G across the length and breadth of India. 100% saturation will be completed. We've had the fastest 5G rollout in India. 450,000 BTSs, 98% of districts covered, 90% of all villages covered in a span of only 21 months. And this attitude put forward by the Prime Minister of not just embracing but bracing ourselves to becoming the first mover in the 6G technology. It is noteworthy that the Indian Mobile Congress and the International 6G Symposium demonstrates both local and global advancements in 6G and also design principles that will shape the future of telecom. With our Bharat 6G Alliance, where we hope to contribute at least 10% of patents to 6G standardization, it is our belief and our commitment that India followed the world in 4G. We marched with the world in 5G, but we shall lead the world in 6G. I'm grateful today to all the participants for taking time out and partaking in this journey. And we certainly hope the next 10 days will align our visions and define our paths towards telecom, but more importantly, for a more connected world. और इसी के साथ भारत यानी दुनिया की दूसरी सबसे बड़ी टेलीकॉम मार्केट और भविष्य की टेलीकॉम हब में आप सब लोगों का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है. जय हिंद, जय भारत.
Thank you, Minister Scindia, sir. May I now invite the chairman of the Reliance Jio Infocom Limited, Shri Akash Ambani, to please address the conference.
Most respected Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, Honorable Minister of Communications Shri Doordarshan Sindhya ji, Honorable Minister of State for Communications Dr. Chandrasekhar Pemasani ji, Chairman of DOT Dr. Neeraj Mittal ji, my esteemed senior colleagues from the industry, and distinguished delegates, Namaste. My heartiest congratulations to our visionary and incredibly dynamic leader, Shri Narendra Modi ji, for gracing this edition of the India Mobile Congress in his historic third term as Prime Minister. Adharnya Pradhan Mantri ji, under your visionary guidance, the India Mobile Congress has grown in stature and achieved global standing, making it a significant platform for digital innovation and collaboration. Because of your encouragement to the industry and innovation, India has been digitally transformed by perhaps the biggest digital revolution in history. In New India, in Modi ji's India, there's no more business as usual. Rather, there's unusual synergy between government and industry to deliver world-class services to satisfy the needs and expectations of 1.45 billion Indians. As a representative of Young India, I thank you for your incredible connection with the youth and for inspiring us to pursue impossible-looking goals. As we say in Hindi, Modi hai to mumkin hai. For our international audiences, Modi makes everything possible. Friends, the world is in awe of a nation that crawling at 2G speed only 8 years ago is now galloping down the 5G highway. I would like to assure Prime Minister that India will have an even better record in 6G. From a nation that ranked a lowly 155th in mobile broadband adoption, we have risen to become the world's largest data market. From a nation where the number of unicorns could be counted on a single hand, fingers of a single hand, we have now emerged as the third largest unicorn hub in the world. UPI has become the world's #1 digital payment system. Today, India stands as the only large country in the world that has one of the lowest mobile data prices and yet one of the fastest internet speeds. India's per capita data consumption of over 30 GB is one of the highest in the world. But that is only half the picture. The other half tells you India's story of digital transformation is an example of inclusivity. Modi ji has ensured that innovation leads to more inclusion. He has democratized digital technology and used it as a tool to take the benefits to the last mile, leaving no one behind. Pradhan Mantri Narendra Modi ji, आपके दूरदर्शी नेतृत्व ने एक चमत्कार कर दिया. भारत में अब सिर्फ सबका साथ, सबका विकास ही नहीं, बल्कि सबका डिजिटल साथ और सबका डिजिटल विकास भी हो रहा है. India's digital revolution has spread to the remotest corners of our nation. Over 530 million unbanked Indians have been brought into the financial system through Jan Dhan accounts. To put things into perspective, 530 million is more than the combined population of the US, UK, France, and Canada. What is even more heartening is that over 300 million of these account holders are women. I feel both proud and humbled that Jio has played a significant part in this remarkable transformation. Distinguished participants, I take the opportunity of the India Mobile Congress to present 2 suggestions for the kind consideration of our Prime Minister. My first suggestion: artificial intelligence is the most revolutionary tool of transformation invented by the human mind. It will disruptively transform every aspect of our life, every facet of our society, every sector of our economy, and bring in an era of unimaginable abundance and efficiency. With AI, India has the potential to completely transform the manufacturing sectors, including SMEs, so that India becomes a new age factory and new age service center for the world. The agriculture sector, so that our farmers can become prosperous by growing more with less water. The health sector, so that quality healthcare for all can become a reality. The education sector, so that every Indian student can have the best of learning opportunities. AI is absolutely critical for realizing our dream of a Viksit Bharat by 2047. Therefore, India, under your leadership, should urgently embrace AI with a holistic strategy driven by maximum Atmanirbhar efforts. At Jio, we have begun our efforts to bring benefits of AI to every Indian, just as we did with mobile broadband. We are committed to democratizing AI, offering powerful AI models and services to everyone in India at affordable prices. Towards this end, we are laying the groundwork for a national AI infrastructure. My second suggestion: the scale and speed of multilingual data generation in India, which will drive the AI revolution, will grow exponentially. We request the government to expedite the updating of the 2020 draft of the data center policy that Indian data should remain in India data centers. Therefore, Indian companies ready to set up AI and machine learning data centers should get all necessary incentives, including incentives for power consumption. Indian mobile companies, along with the thriving ecosystem, are in a position to offer solutions to the rest of the world, including developed nations. India needs an accelerated talent generation on a scale that is necessary to make India a global AI leader. Some of the existing jobs will evolve, and many more exciting opportunities for employment and entrepreneurship are going to be created in a rapid way, just like during the adoption of computers and the internet. In conclusion, it is our promise not only that India will lead the charge in mobile innovation, but we will fully embrace the power of AI to create a connected, intelligent future that is truly transformative for every Indian. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, Mr. Ambani. May I now invite the Chairman of Bharti Enterprises, Shri Sunil Bharti Mittal, to please address the congregation.
आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री लोकप्रिय मोदी जी, Honorable Minister of Communications, Mr. Scindia, Honorable Minister of State, Dr. Chandrasekhar, other senior government dignitaries, Secretary General ITU, and a long-standing friend of mine for over 20 years, Doreen, and many of my industry colleagues who are here today. And ladies and gentlemen, I have a great pleasure today to be once again standing in front of you during IMC 24. And that it coincides with a very important ITU meet here in India makes it even more special. This event showcases India's development in telecom infrastructure and its digital technologies. In this very hall, not too long ago, the leaders of the world's top 20 countries assembled and witnessed India's rise on the global standing in both political terms and economic terms. But what the world has sat up and noticed and has been awestruck is the digital revolution in this country. I have been a long traveler on this journey. Since 1983, I've been a part of India's telecom story, but I can tell you that the real story began when Prime Minister Modi ji took charge in 2014. He knew the power of technology. He used it in Gujarat for the benefit of the citizens of Gujarat and the society. He realized that if India has to achieve its place on the top table of the world, technology needs to be put to use. And one of the main pillars of his vision was Digital India. That fired up all the entrepreneurs who are connected with telecom and digital services. That ushered in the 4G revolution in this country within 2 years of his assumption of office. That brought in smartphones in the hands of not just rich urban Indians, but in the poorer Indians in the most rural and hinterlands of India. That, as our minister rightly said, ushered in a revolution of digital broadband connectivity that connected them to wonderful services that both private sector and indeed the government and public sector had to offer. That spawned a number of startups in this country, turning many of them into unicorns and bringing in billions of dollars from the world. That stage was set to be used for Prime Minister's second term in 2019, when he came in and recognized that India is highly dependent on imports of telecom equipment and digital equipment. India at that time was importing nearly $500 billion worth of equipment from all over the world, including from our neighboring country. He asked Indian entrepreneurs and world corporations to come and set up manufacturing bases in India. And I have mentioned this before here, India had lost the manufacturing race in the previous 20, 30 years to China and other parts of the world. That call to action has resulted in today India becoming a major manufacturing hub where the animal spirits of Indian entrepreneurs and the global corporations are unleashed by the support of a massive productivity-linked incentive program, the PLI, as well as ushering in the most complicated, complex process, which no other country has really initiated in a manner that India has, of trusted sources and trusted products. Today, every element in this country that is coming goes through the detailed eye of National Security Council on Telecom. Every source, every product, every element of India's network that connects our nation passes through that rigorous test of trusted networks and trusted products. This is seminal development which other countries need to follow very quickly. Before the second term expired, he recognized that India may be left behind and become a follower once again in 5G. He asked Department of Telecom and the Indian operators to gear up and launch 5G at the fastest pace possible. And I'm glad to report, and I'm sure most of you in this room are connected to a 5G network, India not only launched the fastest 5G networks in the country, not just in urban areas, but including all the villages and rural areas, and more network rollouts are happening as we speak every day, every month. And within a matter of next 12 to 18 months, again, each and every part of the country will be connected through a very powerful 5G network. That was, to my mind, the seminal contribution of the second term of Honorable Prime Minister Modi. But as we know, he never rests on his laurels. You achieve something, he will give you a bigger task to do. India has now dialed up its ambitions to be a semiconductor destination as well. A number of initiatives by the government of India have been taken to now start the process of manufacturing semiconductors in this country. Alliances globally are being built. India and US have recently signed a critical technology partnership. India has gone ahead and signed partnerships with France, with the UK, with Japan, and many other leading countries, including Taiwan, to come and set up shops here in semiconductor. The other big part of the third term is going to be opening up of space industry for the private sector. That, to my mind, is again one of the huge developments that India is seeing. Friends who are here from the world, from mobile industry, recognize that it's almost impossible for terrestrial services to cover every square inch of any country, or our oceans, or our skies. In the past, just like 2G, we had the VSATs, which were connecting on a very slow 2G type of dial-up speeds some of the critical areas. With the launch of LEO networks, the low Earth orbit networks, now we have the possibility of connecting 4G speeds and massive capacities in the hands of those who have been left behind. India has 95% of population covered, but they live in 75% of the places. There are 5% of people who are in those remote areas, in mountains, in forests, in deep remote rural areas, where USO is trying to catch up and provide the services. And I want to assure the Prime Minister that with the launch of SATCOM services in this country, anybody, anywhere in the country, however remote or in difficult conditions they may be, will be able to connect on a fast-speed network to the internet using voice, data, videos, whatever is required, as is done on a 4G, 5G network. Doreen is here. ITU assigns the spectrum and orbital slots globally, and that job will keep on happening. However, there is now a debate going on across the world, and there is where I would like to draw the attention of the Honorable Prime Minister, that intertemporal choices will have to be made as to how satellite, which is moving fast in technologies, need to coexist with terrestrial networks. My message is very simple. Telecom companies around the globe have done a seminal work in connecting the world. They will take the satellite services into the remotest parts of their nations through the USO program and directly through themselves. And those satellite companies who have ambitions to come into urban areas serving elite retail customers just need to take the telecom licenses like everybody else, be bound with the same conditions. They need to buy the spectrum as the telecom companies buy. They need to pay the license fee as the telecom companies do, and also secure the networks like telecom companies do. This is a simple solution which can be done on a global scale, and India can again show the way in this particular regard. Finally, Honorable Prime Minister, I'd like to assure you that Airtel has been at the forefront of India's telecom revolution. It has stood the test of time. It has seen the journey right from the 2G and dial-up modems to where we are in India today, creating a digital revolution that the world is seeing. And Bharti Airtel will be a very responsible company. While building these fanciful networks, it'll be responsible towards its customers, it'll be responsible towards its stakeholders, and I'm glad that Airtel took the initiative of launching India's first anti-spam network, blocking in billions of calls coming from scamsters, billions of messages coming from fraudsters to secure the lives of our customers. We are now working with the industry to ensure, and with the Department of Telecom, that our people, when they're using these networks and enjoying all those services, are safe and secure. Honorable Prime Minister, Bharti Airtel will play its role in your vision of building a very powerful India. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mitra. May I now invite the chairman of the Aditya Birla Group, Shri Kumar Mangalam Birla, to please say a few words.
Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, Honorable Minister of Communication Shri Jyotiraditya Scindia, Honorable Minister of State for Communication Dr. Chandrasekhar, Chairman DCC and Secretary DOT Dr. Neeraj Mittal, my colleagues from the industry, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure to be here as we mark the inauguration of the 8th India Mobile Congress and reflect on the remarkable progress made by the telecom sector in delivering connectivity and the benefits of digital transformation to Indian citizens. At the heart of this progress, as we know, lies the steadfast progress support of our government. Our government has consistently recognized the importance of digital connectivity and has introduced several reforms over the years to drive us towards an even more connected, empowered, and inclusive digital nation. Pradhan Mantri ji, इस डिजिटल परिवर्तन की नींव आपकी विजन ने आधारित की है. What has been remarkable in this journey is the government's continued thrust on expanding digital infrastructure and accelerating digital adoption for people and businesses equally. As a result, the digital transformation is now moving beyond just the large businesses to our MSMEs, enabling them to break traditional barriers and enter new markets. A few years ago, our Prime Minister had articulated that MSME means maximum support to micro, small, and medium enterprises. We at VI2 are committed to providing maximum support by promoting digital transformation to India's small businesses. With a focus on technologies like 5G, IoT, AI, and cloud services, the VI Business Ready for Next program is helping MSMEs assess their digital readiness, identify areas for improvement, and adopt necessary digital solutions to become future-ready corporations. Since its launch in June 2022, over 1.6 lakh MSMEs have used the VI platform. And through the power of our telecom platforms, I believe that we can create a thriving digital ecosystem that empowers our MSMEs to drive India's economic growth. Robust connectivity is also transforming how we live and how we work, as demonstrated by solutions showcased by VI at IMC this year. High-speed networks are making telemedicine possible, for example, in remote locations, allowing medical professionals to diagnose and treat patients virtually and bridging the gap between urban and rural healthcare. Just last year, India achieved the remarkable feat of 10 crore teleconsultations, and I believe that this is a matter of great pride for every Indian. Real-time high-speed connectivity will also enable safety and improved efficiencies in critical industries for sectors like mining, construction, and industrial automation. Unimaginable some years ago, it is remarkable how far we have come in connecting people, machines, and devices with such efficiency. Today, we are building a future where virtual and augmented reality immersive experiences will become increasingly integrated into our daily lives. One of the most pressing issues being addressed by the government, regulator, and industry in the past year is spam control and fraud protection. As networks have grown, we have the potential risk to the public, especially from phishing schemes, fraudulent calls, and spam messages. These undermine public confidence in communication systems and also put people's personal and financial security at risk. In collaboration with the government and regulatory bodies, VI is making significant strides in combating this menace. Vodafone Idea is committed to bringing new and innovative solutions that will fundamentally address spam and fraud at the very core. Public awareness campaigns, too, are helping to educate users about how to identify and avoid spams. This year has also been an important one for Vodafone Idea, as the company has taken critical steps in its own transformation journey. The company's 18,000 crore FPO, marking the largest of its kind in India, was met with overwhelming enthusiasm. It was oversubscribed 7 times overall and an astonishing 19 times amongst institutional investors. The surge in demand culminated in a total bid for approximately 93,500 crores across various investor categories. This response was an emphatic endorsement of the potential of the Indian telecom sector. To me, it signaled the faith that investors have in our Prime Minister's bold vision of a digital India. The fundraise has enabled the company to kickstart again its capex cycle. Vodafone Idea has already announced the next phase of capex detail worth $3.6 billion with 3 global partners, Nokia, Ericsson, and Samsung. These are all key steps that place VI on a more secure footing and ensure that the company remains dynamic and competitive. With the continued support of the government, I'm confident that we will do our part to realize the Prime Minister's Digital India destiny. I am a firm believer in the transformative power of India's telecom sector, and I see it as a bridge to a more connected, empowered, and prosperous India. Thank you once again to the government, to our partners, and the entire telecom community for making the past year truly an exceptional one. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Birla. May I now invite the Secretary-General ITU, Ms. Doreen Bogdan-Martin, to please address the WTSA 2024.
Namaste, India. Namaste, Modi ji. Namaste, Minister Sindhya, Minister Chandrasekhar, Minister Mittal, Chairman Abani, Chairman Mittal, Chairman Birla, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor to stand with you here today, with you, Honorable Prime Minister, to open the 2024 World Telecommunications Standardization Assembly and India Mobile Congress in a joint ceremony. I think this is a powerful symbol of the deep ties between the ITU and India. Ties that were at the heart of our meaningful conversation last year when I had the great pleasure to inaugurate, together with the Honorable Prime Minister, the ITU Area Office and Innovation Center. Since then, it's been an incredible year for digital. As digital innovation in AI and other emerging technologies continues unabated, world leaders came together just a few weeks ago in New York and adopted the Pact of the Future and its Global Digital Compact. They sent a powerful message to the world that our future is digital and we can and we must write it together. On that historic occasion, the Honorable Prime Minister, you stressed the need for global digital governance, and you made India's ambition very clear to lead by example and to share its digital public infrastructure with the entire world. DPI was a big priority during India's G20 presidency, where ITU had the pleasure to be a knowledge partner. The world has a lot to learn from what India has accomplished with the Unified Payments Interface, Aadhaar, and other building blocks of today's digital economy. Standards are the engine that powers these platforms to operate at scale, giving every Indian with a mobile device access to life-changing services. And that's why we're all here today. Because we know that standards build trust. Trust nurtures inclusion, and inclusion can unlock the full potential of digital and emerging technologies for everyone, everywhere, including the third of humanity that's still offline. Honorable Prime Minister, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, this global gathering, the first of its kind in Asia, calls for bold, collective action. In the next 10 days, we can, and I firmly believe we can strengthen the role of international standards as the bedrock of global digital governance. One of our most urgent tasks is ensuring that AI is developed responsibly and as a force for good. As we work to drive progress in this decade and beyond, let's ensure that standards help to level the playing field for innovation. Let's align technological progress with digital inclusion. And ladies and gentlemen, together, let's write a digital future that is more connected, that's secure, that's responsible, and that is sustainable for all. Thank you, and Dhanyawad. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bogdan Martin. May I now request the Honourable Prime Minister of India to please launch the World Telecommunications Standardization Assembly 2024 by unveiling a digital plaque. Please be seated, sir.
From the land where the ethos of Atithi Devo Bhava, the guest is God, guides our spirit of global unity. India proudly welcomes you to the heart of its capital, New Delhi, for the ITU World Telecommunications Standardization Assembly 2024. Since its inception in 1865, the International Telecommunication Union (ITU) has been at the forefront of global telecommunications, driving innovation and fostering worldwide connectivity. India, proudly joining in 1869, has been a vital partner in this journey. Last year marked a significant milestone in this journey.
भारत में टेक्नोलॉजी सिर्फ मोड ऑफ पावर नहीं है, बल्कि मिशन टू एम्पावर है.
With the ITU area office opening in New Delhi, as a specialized agency of the United Nations, ITU continues to be a driving force in the digital era, bringing together 194 member countries and over 900 sectors and academia members. Every 4 years, the World Telecommunications Standardization Assembly (WTSA) sets global telecom standards and shapes the future of telecommunications worldwide. And for the first time in the history of Asia-Pacific region, this prestigious assembly comes to India as the future of telecommunications is here. The telecom journey towards Vikasit Bharat has seen a dramatic transformation driven by the government of India. With over 1.2 billion subscribers and 900 million internet users, the country now has the world's second largest telecom network. BharatNet initiative has ensured nationwide digital inclusion. India's 5G rollout is among the fastest globally, with more than 100 5G labs enabling innovations in sectors like healthcare, digital payments, agriculture, and education. Median mobile download speeds skyrocketed while prices dropped. As the third largest startup ecosystem, India is enabling ecosystem for innovations in emerging tech like 6G, AI, quantum, fintech and cyber security. Through the initiatives of the government, India is bridging the digital divide. At WTSA 2024, we welcome you to participate in a global dialogue that transcends borders, embodying India's philosophy of Vishwabandhu, a universal fraternity. In this land, where tradition harmonizes with cutting-edge technology, India stands ready to work with the world to achieve the sustainable development goals. Together, let's innovate, collaborate, and build a future of safe, secure, universal, and meaningful global connectivity.
May I also request the Honourable Prime Minister to launch the 8th India Mobile Congress by clicking the remote.
India, a nation where technology is the pulse of progress, a nation that inspires innovation, and where every stride forward is guided by the vision of a Viksit Bharat.
इनोवेशन का एक कल्चर विकसित भारत के निर्माण के लिए नहीं, बल्कि पूरी दुनिया के बेहतर भविष्य के लिए भी बहुत जरूरी है.
Under the leadership of the Honourable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, the pursuit of a Viksit Bharat is more than just a roadmap. The vision is not just seen, it's lived every day in every way.
सब बदल रहा है, खेती और खेती करने के तरीके भी. और हाँ, कम समय और कम लागत में ज्यादा उत्पादन की तकनीकें आ गई.
पेमेंट्स अब मोबाइल पर भी आ जाती हैं और बैंक जाने का समय और खर्चा दोनों बचते हैं.
हम 5G से पढ़ सकते हैं from the best teachers. My dreams are now within my reach.
After leading the charge in 5G, India is all set to drive 6G standardization for the world and transform the future of connectivity. AI is driving a new era of innovation. It is steering efficiency across all sectors. In modern industries, semiconductors are sparking a revolution by powering devices, creating jobs, fueling economic growth, and positioning India as a global manufacturing leader. This incredible journey is nurtured at India Mobile Congress.
The India Mobile Congress 2024 will be the Jwalamukhi for technology to permeate, to be born, to be innovated, and to be proliferated.
And India will be leading the charge.
IMC 2024 brings together industry leaders and visionaries to turn bold ideas into reality. Aspire, the startup program, embodies our commitment to fostering the next generation of tech leaders, connecting innovators with the resources they need. Join us at IMC 2024, because here the future is now.
May I now request the Honourable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, to please address the congregation.
मंत्रिमंडल के मेरे सहयोगी ज्योतिरादित्य सिंधिया जी, चंद्रशेखर जी, ITU की सेक्रेटरी जनरल, विभिन्न देशों के मंत्रीगण, भारत के भिन्न भिन्न राज्यों से आए हुए सब मंत्रीगण, इंडस्ट्री लीडर्स, टेलीकॉम एक्सपर्ट्स, स्टार्टअप्स की दुनिया के मेरे प्रिय नौजवान, देश दुनिया से आए अन्य महानुभाव, देवी और सज्जनों, इंडिया मोबाइल कांग्रेस में देश और दुनिया के आप सभी साथियों का बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन। मैं इंटरनेशनल टेलीकॉम यूनियन ITU के साथियों का भी विशेष स्वागत करता हूं। आपने WTSA के लिए पहली बार भारत चुना है। मैं आपका आभारी भी हूं और आपकी सराहना भी करता हूं। साथियों, आज भारत टेलीकॉम और उससे जुड़ी टेक्नोलॉजी के मामले में दुनिया के सबसे हैपनिंग देशों में से एक है। भारत, जहां 120 करोड़ यानी 1200 मिलियन मोबाइल फोन यूजर्स हैं, भारत जहां 95 करोड़ यानी 950 मिलियन इंटरनेट यूजर्स हैं, भारत जहां दुनिया का 40% से अधिक का रियल टाइम डिजिटल ट्रांजैक्शन होता है, भारत जिसने डिजिटल कनेक्टिविटी को लास्ट माइल डिलीवरी का इफेक्टिव टूल बनाकर दिखाया है, वहां ग्लोबल टेलीकम्युनिकेशन के स्टैंडर्ड और फ्यूचर पर चर्चा ग्लोबल गुड का भी माध्यम बनेगी। मैं आप सभी को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। फ्रेंड्स, WTSA और इंडिया मोबाइल कांग्रेस का एक साथ होना भी बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। WTSA का लक्ष्य ग्लोबल स्टैंडर्ड्स पर काम करना है, वहीं इंडिया मोबाइल कांग्रेस की बड़ी भूमिका सर्विसेज के साथ जुड़ी हुई है। इसलिए आज का ये आयोजन स्टैंडर्ड्स और सर्विसेज दोनों को एक ही मंच पर ले आया है। आज भारत क्वालिटी सर्विस पर बहुत ज्यादा फोकस कर रहा है। हम अपने स्टैंडर्ड्स पर भी विशेष बल दे रहे हैं। ऐसे में WTSA का अनुभव भारत को एक नई ऊर्जा देने वाला होगा। साथियों, WTSA पूरी दुनिया को कंसेंसस के जरिए एम्पावर करने की बात करता है। इंडिया मोबाइल कांग्रेस पूरी दुनिया को कनेक्टिविटी के जरिए सशक्त करने की बात करती है। यानी इस इवेंट में कंसेंसस और कनेक्टिविटी भी एक साथ जुड़ी है। आप जानते हैं कि आज की कॉन्फ्लिक्ट से भरी दुनिया के लिए इन दोनों का होना कितना जरूरी है। भारत हजारों वर्षों से वसुधैव कुटुंबकम के अमर संदेश को जीता रहा है। हमें G20 का नेतृत्व करने का अवसर मिला, तब भी हमने वन अर्थ, वन फैमिली, वन फ्यूचर का ही संदेश दिया। भारत दुनिया को कॉन्फ्लिक्ट से बाहर निकालकर कनेक्ट करने में ही जुटा है। प्राचीन सिल्क रूट से लेकर आज के टेक्नोलॉजी रूट तक भारत का हमेशा एक ही मिशन रहा है, दुनिया को कनेक्ट करना और प्रगति के नए रास्ते खोलना। ऐसे में WTSA और IMC की ये साझेदारी भी एक प्रेरक और शानदार मैसेज है। जब लोकल और ग्लोबल का मेल होता है, तब न केवल एक देश बल्कि पूरी दुनिया को इसका लाभ मिलता है, और यही हमारा लक्ष्य है। फ्रेंड, 21वीं सदी में भारत की मोबाइल और टेलीकॉम यात्रा पूरे विश्व के लिए स्टडी का विषय है। दुनिया में मोबाइल और टेलीकॉम को एक सुविधा के रूप में देखा गया, लेकिन भारत का मॉडल कुछ अलग रहा है। भारत में हमने टेलीकॉम को सिर्फ कनेक्टिविटी का नहीं, बल्कि इक्विटी और अपॉर्चुनिटी का माध्यम बनाया। ये माध्यम आज गांव और शहर, अमीर और गरीब के बीच की दूरी को मिटाने में मदद कर रहा है। मुझे याद है, जब मैं 10 साल पहले डिजिटल इंडिया का विजन देश के सामने रख रहा था, तो मैंने कहा था कि हम टुकड़ों में नहीं, बल्कि होलिस्टिक अप्रोच के साथ चलना होगा। तब हमने डिजिटल इंडिया के 4 पिलर्स की पहचान की थी। पहला, डिवाइस की कीमत कम होनी चाहिए। दूसरा, डिजिटल कनेक्टिविटी देश के कोने कोने तक पहुंचे। तीसरा, डेटा सबकी पहुंच में होना है। और चौथा, डिजिटल फर्स्ट ही हमारा लक्ष्य होना चाहिए। हमने इन 4 पिलर्स पर एक साथ काम करना शुरू किया और हमें इसके नतीजे भी मिले। फ्रेंड्स, हमारे यहाँ फोन तब तक सस्ते नहीं हो सकते थे जब तक हम भारत में ही उनको मैन्युफैक्चरर न करते। 2014 में भारत में सिर्फ 2 मोबाइल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूनिट थी, आज 200 से ज्यादा है। पहले हम ज्यादातर फोन बाहर से इंपोर्ट करते थे, आज हम पहले से 6 गुना ज्यादा मोबाइल फोन भारत में बना रहे हैं। हमारी पहचान एक मोबाइल एक्सपोर्टर देश की है और हम इतने पर ही नहीं रुके हैं। अब हम चिप से लेकर फिनिश प्रोडक्ट तक दुनिया को एक कंप्लीट मेड इन इंडिया फोन देने में जुटे हैं। हम भारत में सेमीकंडक्टर इकोसिस्टम पर भी बहुत बड़ा इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रहे हैं। फ्रेंड्स, कनेक्टिविटी के पिलर पर काम करते हुए भारत में हमने ये सुनिश्चित किया कि हर घर कनेक्ट हो। हमने देश के कोने कोने में मोबाइल टावर्स का एक सशक्त नेटवर्क बनाया, जो हमारे ट्राइबल एरियाज हैं, हिली एरियाज हैं, बॉर्डर एरियाज हैं, वहाँ बहुत कम समय में ही हजारों मोबाइल टावर लगाए गए। हमने रेलवे स्टेशंस और दूसरे पब्लिक प्लेसेस पर वाईफाई की सुविधा दी। हमने अपने अंडमान निकोबार और लक्षद्वीप जैसे आइलैंड को अंडर सी केबल्स के माध्यम से कनेक्ट किया। भारत ने सिर्फ 10 साल में जितना ऑप्टिकल फाइबर बिछाया है, उसकी लंबाई धरती और चंद्रमा के बीच की दूरी से भी 8 गुना है। मैं भारत की स्पीड का आपको एक उदाहरण देता हूं। 2 साल पहले मोबाइल कांग्रेस में ही हमने 5G लॉन्च किया था। आज भारत का करीब करीब हर जिला 5G सर्विस से जुड़ चुका है। आज भारत दुनिया का दूसरा बड़ा 5G मार्केट बन चुका है और अब हम 6G टेक्नोलॉजी पर भी तेजी से काम कर रहे हैं। साथियों, भारत ने टेलीकॉम सेक्टर में जो रिफॉर्म्स किए, जो इनोवेशन किए, वो अकल्पनीय है, अभूतपूर्व है। इससे डेटा की कीमत बहुत कम हुई। आज भारत में इंटरनेट डेटा की कीमत लगभग 12 सेंट प्रति जीबी है, जबकि दुनिया के कितने ही देशों में 1 जीबी डेटा इससे 10 गुना से 20 गुना ज्यादा महंगा है। हम भारतीय आज हर महीने औसतन करीब 30 जीबी डेटा कंज्यूम करते हैं। साथियों, इन सारे प्रयासों को हमारे चौथे पिलर यानी डिजिटल फर्स्ट की भावना से नई स्केल पर पहुंचाया है। भारत ने डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजी को डेमोक्रेटाइज किया। भारत ने डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म बनाए और इस प्लेटफॉर्म पर हुए इनोवेशन ने लाखों नए अवसर पैदा किए। जनधन, आधार और मोबाइल की जेम ट्रिनिटी कितने ही नए इनोवेशन का आधार बनी है। यूनिफाइड पेमेंट्स इंटरफेस यूपीआई ने कितनी ही नई कंपनियों को नए मौके दिए हैं। अब आजकल ओएनडीसी की भी ऐसी ही चर्चा हो रही है। ओएनडीसी से भी डिजिटल कॉमर्स में नई क्रांति आने वाली है। हमने कोरोना के दौरान भी देखा है कि कैसे हमारे डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म्स ने हर काम आसान किया है। जरूरतमंदों तक पैसा भेजना हो, कोरोना से निपटने में जुटे कर्मचारियों तक रियल टाइम गाइडलाइंस भेजनी हो, वैक्सीनेशन का प्रोसेस स्ट्रीमलाइन करना हो, वैक्सीन का डिजिटल सर्टिफिकेट देना हो, भारत में सब कुछ बहुत स्मूथली हुआ। आज भारत के पास एक ऐसा डिजिटल बुके है जो दुनिया में वेलफेयर स्कीम्स को एक नई ऊंचाई दे सकता है। इसलिए G20 प्रेसिडेंसी के दौरान भी भारत ने डिजिटल पब्लिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पर बल दिया। और आज मैं फिर दोहराऊंगा, भारत को डीपीआई से संबंधित अपना अनुभव और जानकारी सभी देशों के साथ शेयर करने में खुशी होगी। साथियों, यहां WTSA में नेटवर्क ऑफ वीमेन इनिशिएटिव पर भी चर्चा होनी है। ये बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट विषय है। भारत विमेन लेड डेवलपमेंट को लेकर बहुत ही गंभीरता से काम कर रहा है। G20 प्रेसिडेंसी के दौरान भी हमने अपने इस कमिटमेंट को आगे बढ़ाया। टेक्नोलॉजी सेक्टर को इंक्लूसिव बनाना, टेक्नोलॉजी प्लेटफॉर्म से महिलाओं को एम्पावर करना, भारत इस लक्ष्य को लेकर चल रहा है। आपने देखा है कि हमारे स्पेस मिशंस में हमारी वीमेन साइंटिस्ट का कितना बड़ा रोल है। हमारे स्टार्टअप में विमेन को फाउंडर की संख्या लगातार बढ़ रही है। आज भारत की स्टेम एजुकेशन में 40% से अधिक हिस्सेदारी हमारी बेटियों की है। भारत आज टेक्नोलॉजी लीडरशिप में महिलाओं के लिए ज्यादा से ज्यादा अवसर बना रही है। आपने सरकार के नमो ड्रोन दीदी कार्यक्रम के बारे में जरूर सुना होगा। ये खेती में ड्रोन क्रांति को बढ़ावा देने वाला कार्यक्रम है। इस अभियान को भारत के गांवों की महिलाएं लीड कर रही हैं। डिजिटल बैंकिंग, डिजिटल पेमेंट्स को घर घर पहुंचाने के लिए भी हमने बैंक सखी प्रोग्राम चलाया। यानी महिलाओं ने डिजिटल अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम को भी लीड किया। हमारे प्राइमरी हेल्थ केयर, मैटरनिटी और चाइल्ड केयर में भी आशा और आंगनवाड़ी वर्कर्स का बहुत बड़ा रोल है। आज ये वर्कर्स टैब्स और एप्स के माध्यम से इस पूरे काम को ट्रैक करती हैं। महिलाओं के लिए हम महिला ई-हार्ट कार्यक्रम भी चला रहे हैं। ये विमेन एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के लिए एक ऑनलाइन मार्केटिंग प्लेटफॉर्म है। यानी आज गांव-गांव में भारत की महिलाएं ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजी पर काम कर रही हैं जो अकल्पनीय है। आने वाले समय में हम इसका दायरा और बढ़ाने वाले हैं। मैं उस भारत की कल्पना कर रहा हूं जहां हर बेटी एक टेक लीडर हो। फ्रेंड्स, भारत ने अपनी G20 प्रेसिडेंसी के दौरान एक गंभीर विषय दुनिया के सामने रखा था। इस विषय को मैं WTSA जैसे ग्लोबल प्लेटफॉर्म के सामने भी रखना चाहता हूं। ये विषय है डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजी के ग्लोबल फ्रेमवर्क का, ग्लोबल गाइडलाइंस का। अब समय आ गया है कि ग्लोबल इंस्टीट्यूशंस को ग्लोबल गवर्नेंस के लिए इसके महत्व को स्वीकारना होगा। टेक्नोलॉजी के लिए वैश्विक स्तर पर डूज एंड डोंट्स बनाने होंगे। आज जितने भी डिजिटल टूल्स और एप्लीकेशंस हैं वो बंधनों से परे हैं, किसी भी देश की बाउंड्री से परे हैं। इसलिए कोई भी देश अकेले साइबर थ्रेट से अपने नागरिकों की रक्षा नहीं कर सकता। इसके लिए हमें मिलकर काम करना होगा। ग्लोबल संस्थाओं को आगे बढ़कर जिम्मेदारी उठानी होगी। हम जानते हैं, हमारा अनुभव, जैसे हमने एविएशन सेक्टर के लिए एक ग्लोबल रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशन का फ्रेमवर्क बनाया है, वैसे ही फ्रेमवर्क की जरूरत डिजिटल वर्ल्ड को भी है। और इसके लिए WTSA को और अधिक सक्रियता से काम करना होगा। मैं WTSA से जुड़े हर सदस्य से कहूंगा कि वो इस दिशा में सोचें कि कैसे टेलीकम्युनिकेशन को सभी के लिए सेफ बनाया जाए। इस इंटरकनेक्टेड दुनिया में सिक्योरिटी किसी भी तरह से आफ्टर थॉट नहीं हो सकती। भारत के डेटा प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट और नेशनल साइबर सिक्योरिटी स्ट्रेटेजी एक सेफ डिजिटल इकोसिस्टम बनाने के प्रति हमारे कमिटमेंट को दिखाते हैं। मैं इस असेंबली के सदस्यों से कहूंगा, आप ऐसे स्टैंडर्ड्स बनाएं जो इंक्लूसिव हो, सिक्योर हो और भविष्य के हर चैलेंज के लिए एडेप्टेबल हो। आप एथिकल AI और डेटा प्राइवेसी के ऐसे ग्लोबल स्टैंडर्ड्स बनाएं जो अलग अलग देशों की डाइवर्सिटी का भी सम्मान करें। साथियों, ये बहुत जरूरी है कि आज के इस टेक्नोलॉजिकल रिवॉल्यूशन में हम टेक्नोलॉजी को ह्यूमन सेंट्रिक डायमेंशन देने का निरंतर प्रयास करें। हम पर ये जिम्मेदारी है कि ये रिवॉल्यूशन रिस्पॉन्सिबल और सस्टेनेबल हो। आज हम जो भी स्टैंडर्ड सेट करेंगे उससे हमारे भविष्य की दिशा तय होगी। इसलिए सिक्योरिटी, डिग्निटी और इक्विटी के प्रिंसिपल्स हमारी चर्चा के केंद्र में होने चाहिए। हमारा मकसद होना चाहिए कि कोई देश, कोई रीजन और कोई कम्युनिटी इस डिजिटल युग में पीछे न रह जाए। हमें सुनिश्चित करना होगा हमारा भविष्य टेक्निकली स्ट्रांग भी हो और एथिकली साउंड भी हो। हमारे भविष्य में इनोवेशन भी हो, इंक्लूजन भी हो। साथियों, WTSA की सफलता के लिए मेरी शुभकामनाएं आपके साथ है, मेरा सपोर्ट आपके साथ है। आप सबको मेरी बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister, sir. We are indebted to you for gracing and inaugurating the WTSA and IMC. and will cherish the time you have spent with us. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of the inaugural ceremony. Kindly remain in your places until the Honorable Prime Minister has left the hall. Thank you for joining us today. Ladies.
Alright, so we are getting you these visuals from Bharat Mandapam, where India Mobile Congress 2024, the 8th edition, and also ITU World Telecommunications Standardization Assembly were inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. While addressing at the WTSA, he said he expressed his appreciation to the International Telecommunication Union for choosing India as the host for the World Telecommunications Standardization Assembly. His remarks highlighted the significance of India's role in global telecommunications and the country's commitment to advancing telecommunication standards. He also spoke about how India has become the largest exporter in mobile phones, in telecom and related techniques. He said India is the most important country in the world. He spoke about optical fiber and also how India is working on 6G technology. He said in 2014 there were only 2 mobile manufacturing units. Today it is more than 200, making it a robust hub for mobile production. And the country is strategically focusing on the development of complete made in India smartphones. He also said WTSA aims to empower the whole world through consensus. India Mobile Congress aims to empower the world through connectivity, he said. So consensus and connectivity have been linked at this event. In today's conflict-ridden world, these two things are very important. He also said that India sees digital technology as a powerful tool that can significantly enhance welfare schemes, and the country is willing to share its experience and information about digital public infrastructure with other nations across the globe. And offering examples of Jan Dhan, Aadhaar and UPI, PM Modi said that ONDC will usher in a revolution in the digital commerce sector. And he further spoke about the role of women in technology leadership and how India is creating opportunities for women entrepreneurs. So this was primarily the gist of what Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, and we'll have a detailed story in our subsequent bulletins. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.